welcome to the Boys in the Bus podcast. This is your bus home following Celtic's 2-1 defeat at home to Hibernian. I'm your host, Terry, and I'm joined once again by Paul. Paul, I'd ask how you are, but it's a stupid question. Here we are again, about to pick over another shambles of a performance. They say things happen in threes, Paul. Last night I ran out of home heating oil. Today I ran out of diesel in the car, and this afternoon Celtic finally ran out of luck. While surrendering 3 meek title points. I'm sick of coming on here and talking about these performances, but we're just gonna have to batten the hatches down and get this one over. How you feeling?
Genuinely sick. The last couple of weeks, especially when we've been on here and doing the clip, you know, with yourself saying that was the day we won the league.
Oh, you called the title. It's all
yeah, it's coming to bite the arse now. I know. What do you call it? But I'm not giving up. But looking at that today, there is no way this team wins the league. And you can take all the refereeing decisions or anything like that out of the picture. On that showing today, we are not winning the league.
Okay, we'll get into all of that, Paul. Let's try and keep some kind of structure on it. So let's fire up the team. This was one that I was certainly very bullish that I did not think Kasper Schmeichel would play today. And there he is, first name on the sheet. Give me your initial thoughts whenever you've seen that lineup coming out.
The lineup, apart from Schmeichel, was the right lineup for me.
Do you think? Yeah.
Yeah. Apart from Schmeichel being in, it was the right lineup. Yeah, definitely. Because I'm still saying to the other day, Terry.
Do you not think we're?
I'm still saying to the other day that what do you call it? That we. I said the other day, Terry, about Schmeichel's contract. I'm going to leave it there. You know what I'm talking about. He's got a thing in his contract to play.
I'm not gonna give it to Kasper Schmeichel anymore. I'm done with that. For me, it's now on the manager. Kasper Schmeichel.
Oh yeah, totally.
Kasper Schmeichel doesn't pick the team. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he should be in the team. I think he's an absolute liability. But whatever mistakes he makes between now and the end of the season, I'm not putting it on him anymore. It's on the guy. It's on the guy that picks the team from now.
No, I totally agree with you there. Hatate and Maeda's been really garbage the last few weeks, and they've been put out the team.
Yeah.
So why not Kasper?
Yeah, when I seen the team, my young lad put it up. I was driving, and my young lad read it out to me whenever it came through. And I just felt sick in the pit of my stomach because of what we've seen. And yeah, he wasn't directly involved in either of the goals that we let in today, although he was indirectly involved in the second one, because if you wind it back about 60 seconds, he kicks the ball into touch. So yeah, you can't take it back to him. It only took him 5 minutes into the game to pass the ball straight to a Hibs player. Anyway, I'm not going through it again. He shouldn't be in the team. He is in the team. I felt we needed to freshen it up a wee bit more than we did. I thought there were too many guys there that were given a chasing on Thursday night. Now Tierney did play very well today. I probably would have been tempted to freshen that up with Sriracha, but I think Tierney, there's no issue. Tierney was probably our best player on the day. If truth be told, I just felt that they did a lot of chasing on Thursday night, and we were asking quite a lot of the same guys to go again. Oxlade-Chamberlain came in. We were hopeful that would be the case. Did he have as much influence as we would like? I dare say not. But for me, there's some strange things that we need to look at. Not so much in the starting lineup, but the bench again. So Paulo Bernardo, we talked about him on Thursday night, how he just appears on a team sheet and then disappears again. He wasn't even on the bench today.
Yeah.
In Vuka, the one guy we tried to spend money on in January but couldn't. He's just totally disappeared after 45. He's gone. I don't think we'll ever see him again.
Yeah, I was going to say there he's a bit heartless, but I thought that would be a bit below the belt.
We've had the hokey cokey with Dane Murray and Ben Arthur, where one's on the bench one game and the other one's out, and then they flip. And that happened again today. So Arthur was on the bench, and we'd later see him, and we may well see more of him next week. But that's strange. Murray completely bombed. And then Iheanacho, who was the guy we turned to on Thursday night to try and get us back into the game, isn't even on the bench for this game. Very, very puzzling.
In the game on Thursday, I actually thought Iheanacho took a knock late on when he came on.
Well, if he was on for any more than 5 minutes, he's bound to have picked up some kind of injury. Yeah, you could be right there.
Mm-hmm. It's a bit different for him. He normally takes his knocks in training.
Yeah, I just don't know. Very, very strange. 300 of you in the live chat. You're all very welcome. Please give us a like, give us a share, all that jazz. Paul, I didn't think we started brilliant. I thought Hibs were knocking it about, quite easy possession. I was hoping we'd come out of the traps with a bit more intensity, a bit more aggression. We had a couple of penalty shouts. I don't know if you have any strong view on them. I think there was one where potential handball against one of the Hibs defenders, and then Svanchara was screaming for a penalty as well. I think we were clutching both of them. What's your view?
The Svanchara one, no way it's a penalty.
Yeah.
But the one with Scales and the handball, it's a stonewaller.
You think?
Yeah.
So what actually happened? Did the ball roll down and hit the guys? I think the claim was
it didn't roll down. he actually moved his arm towards the ball.
Yeah.
It was a stonewaller under the rules they always tell us about. Under the rules, that was a stonewaller penalty, which I can get into later on when we start speaking about other things.
Okay. So Hibs took the lead then halfway through the first half. Again, I don't know about you. No surprise for me whatsoever. When the ball breaks to Cadden on the left, we've seen enough times over the last couple of years. He's got really pinpoint delivery. What's really disappointing for me is Taneki's absolute half-hearted attempt to. It wasn't even half-hearted. It wasn't even a quarter heart. It was zero heart. He's standing there and he's preparing as if he's going to try and swing for it with his foot. And the Hibs player's hungry. He just goes in there and heads it, buries it into the net. And again, no surprise. Absolutely no surprise at all. And just that feeling of here we go again.
Yeah, I just feel with Tanekti, he just seems to me more a him player than a team player. It seems to be he wants to do all the tricks and all that himself, and have the limelight. I'm just starting to believe that now. Every game that I watch him, he doesn't want to bring anybody else into the game. Just my opinion.
But in that instant, we were just simply wanting them to defend, wanting them to go and challenge for the ball, and there's absolutely nothing. It's weak. It's heart of a mouse stuff, and we're a goal behind. And then I think we should have been 2 behind within a couple of minutes. Martin Boyle, Scales loses the flight of the ball in the air. Boyle's in on goal. Schmeichel comes out. You're expecting him just to pull him down. Now he does well. He does well not to bring him down. And he then manages to block the shot. But at that point, the writing's on the wall a wee bit.
That's one of the pros of Schmeichel is his one-on-one.
Yeah.
He is good at some things. We're not saying he's a total disaster a keeper. He is good at some things, but other things have just let him down.
I then felt, Paul, see for about the last 15 minutes of the first half and the first 10 or 15 of the second half, I thought we were good in that period.
Yeah.
I thought we got a real head of steam up in the last 15 of the first half. Started creating chances. Tierney was involved in quite a lot of that. There's a chance where he puts the cross in. Yang, who can be accused in some instances of lacking a bit of heart, he does put his head in where it hurts. He's brave. He gets in front of the goalkeeper, and he actually gets too much on it. He heads it so well into the ground that it actually bounces up over the bar.
I actually have to admit, Terry, with Yang, when it comes to Yang, at least he's proven a point of it, like you say, having some heart and actually wanting to fight for the team. Now, he was another player that wanted away.
Yeah,
never got his move, but he didn't go like Maeda and Hatate. At least he's still grinding in for the team, and that's what I like about him.
He misses that chance, Paul. Then Svanchara heads wide from a Tierney cross. Negrin high and wide after another great run from Tierney, but we're starting to knock on the door. Good work from Yang again. Sets up Svanchara, and he can't get his feet sorted out. And it's the same thing that we said on Thursday night, Paul. For me, there's good aspects to his game.
Yeah.
But we needed to go in January and sign a striker who could come in and score goals. And he's not that guy. He's not going to be not even prolific. He's not going to be a regular goal scorer. He's an out of form centre forward, which is not what we needed. It should not have been on the shopping list.
It's like we said on Thursday, Terry. He's a player that likes to hold on to the ball and hold it for other players to come into the team, to come into the play. And at the moment, we've not got somebody else on the park that can actually do that for him. And I don't understand us signing Adamu and he's not getting brought on.
Well, I understand him not getting brought on because I don't think he's very good. The two guys that we signed on deadline day, I don't think any of them are any good. They're not the guys that we were wanting to sign. They're not the two players that were put to Martin O'Neill a few days before, and he said you won't be too far off the mark. We lost out on those two players.
Yeah.
These two guys have I know Adamu got the cheeky goal against Dundee and all of that, but there's nothing there with either of those two. We just fell woefully short in January of what we needed, and what we didn't need was two strikers with hardly a goal between them in the last 2 years, and that's what we've got. Whenever you're turning a game to Dyson Maeda as a centre forward, and you're turning a game to James Forrest, that's what you're bringing on to try and save the game for you. It's back over the same old ground over and over and over again. Anyway, we got level. The good play in that last 15 minutes of the first half was rewarded. Pinpoint cross from Tierney. Who else? Benjamin Negrin, right guy in the right time. He's a guy who does know how to score goals. I thought we deserved it at that point. Delighted to go in level at halftime and hopeful that we could turn this game around going into the second half.
Yeah, it was a good time to score, just to get back into the game, because like I said, the last 10, 15 minutes we were coming back into the game. We were actually showing some neat stuff. But like you say, Negrin yet again, he seems to be the man to come up with the goals that we need. But how can he do that in midfield all the time? He's scoring these goals from midfield. What does that say about our strikers? That our top goal scorer is a midfielder, especially in Scotland.
Yeah. He's our top scorer by an absolute mile. I think he is possibly joint top scorer in the league with Masvanisi. I could be wrong.
Masvanisi's out in front.
Was he just out in front? There's not much in it. There's not much in it. But can you imagine if we did have a proper Celtic centre forward scoring 30 goals a season, and then you've got Negrin compensating in behind? I mean, his numbers aren't going to be far off O'Reilly in his
Yeah,
sort of breakout season. But the man can't do it all on his own, Paul.
exactly.
Start of the second half, he has another effort saved. All of our chances just seems to be he's the guy that he's the only guy who's going to score for us. As I said, we brought on Maida, played him through the middle again, brought him on first. Vanchara, the Ox lasted an hour. Again, I thought he was fine. Oxlade, you know, even in his pomp, he was never the type of guy who's going to get the ball and go on mazy dribbles, and he's
in that midfield to spray the passes about, which he was doing.
Recycles the play, keeps things moving. He's that kind of neat and tidy player, and I suppose for all intents and purposes, he did that today. But he couldn't last any longer than an hour. Hitati came on. We then had a good chance. Your man again, Yang. It was deflected. Then another couple of substitutes. Sriracha does come on for Kieran Tierney. And again, I thought Kieran Tierney was really, really good today. Strange one then for me. Forrest come on for Taneke. I just felt, whilst he wasn't at his best, I just felt his direct running and that sort of wild card element, I would possibly have kept him on. But again,
totally.
He wasn't brilliant. Then for me, the key moment of the game is the Austin Trusty red card. I'm going to let you go first on this because I'm very keen to get your review before I share mine.
My view is, what a bloody idiot. It's a red card. It's a definite red card because of the force of the way he brings his arm down towards the Hibs player. It's a definite red card. And like I say again, under the rules, if you show force, it's a red card. And Trusty has done this too many times. It's a definite red card.
Ian Roy disagrees with you. Is no one going to defend Trusty being held in the box? If he'd hit the ground, we would have got a penalty shot and red card.
It's a red card all the way. Sorry, Ian. Can't agree with you.
Paul, is this just not the normal holding and pushing and shoving that happens in the penalty box all the time?
I totally agree with you. Totally. But the rules, and it comes back to that as well, the rules state if there's force, when you swing your arm, whether it's swinging it towards a player or down or up, no matter what direction, if you swing it towards a player with force, in the rules of the game, it is a red card. I can't say any more on that. If anybody wants to look at the rules,
I do agree with you. I just
wanted to idiot, and I'm being nice.
I've said it time after time after time. This guy's an absolute liability. He's always at it, Paul. See, whenever Matthew McDermott blew to stop the corner coming over, I knew who he was blowing for without even seeing it because it's always him. He's always at it. He's always agitating. It's always him drawing attention to himself. Even think back to the cup semi-final one against Rangers where he's dangled the boot at the goalkeeper's head. Again, at that one, it was just pure and utter stupidity.
And opposition managers know that, so they tell their players exactly what to do. Because they know they'll get a reaction out of him.
He's let his club down. He's let the supporters down. He's just brain dead. He's an idiot, an absolute idiot. And it's effectively a punch. He's raised his arm and he's effectively punched down onto the guy's arm. And what was he hoping to achieve? What was the thought process there where he thought that would be a good idea and there would be any outcome other than getting sent off. And not only
was there any thought process there? You're being nice to him, Terry.
I'm not. I have nothing nice to say
When
about him.
When I say he's brain dead, he is brain dead.
Yeah. And
anybody with a brain would not do that.
Not only did he miss the rest of this game, which we then go on to lose, he misses the game at Ibrox next week. Although the more I think about it, I don't really think it's that big a deal, to be honest.
No, it actually could turn out to be a blessing.
Yeah. He's an accident waiting to happen, and it happens too many times.
Yeah.
It's no coincidence he's the guy sent off today. It's no coincidence he was the guy sent off against Hearts. It's no coincidence he was the guy who could very easily have been sent off against Rangers for an absolute nothing moment.
The Celtic fans will give every player chances, and we know that players can make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But how many chances have we gave Austin Trusty? Enough is enough. But what can we say, though, if we've gave Casper that many chances and he still gets into the team?
What about the next passage of play, Paul? When the corner does finally get taken and there's a huge appeal from Liam Scales for a penalty kick. What was your view on that one?
Stonewaller.
So why was
the minute I seen it, it was a Stonewaller, even before they even had a look at it.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, I can't believe they had a look at it and didn't see anything.
So this VAR check, unlike the earlier one that you felt was a Stonewaller as well, the VAR check on that one lasted, I would say, about 3/4 of a second. The VAR check on this one was significantly longer, to the point where I expected Matthew McDermott to go across to the monitor.
So did that. Yeah.
And the message came up on the screen. The offence took place outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
So what offence was that? The same one of Scales getting his shirt pulled?
No, the offence of Matthew McDermott being a referee.
I just don't know what offence.
That's the offence. That is the offence.
So in the coverage that I seen, it didn't go back and show anything again after that.
No.
So I don't know what offence took place outside the box, because when Liam
Scales... But what I don't understand is either... What I don't understand is that when that passage of play happened, the ball went out for a corner.
Yeah.
Okay? So, if the penalty doesn't get given, then the play should start then as a corner to Celtic. It didn't. The play was given straight back to Hibs. So there's another offence that's happened in the box. It was played out for a corner and it wasn't given to Celtic when the penalty wasn't given.
Just wanted to see what the guys in the comments, 500 people live, what were your views on any of those penalty flashpoints for Celtic? Paul is very adamant that we two Stonewallers. I'm probably not just in that same space, Paul. I'd like to see the Scales one again. I haven't seen enough of it.
Yeah, and could I make a comment here for Chris Fraser?
You can.
When I say about a disgusting he says a disgusting behaviour, saying someone is brain dead. You know what I mean? Believe me, mate, when I say brain dead, I don't mean it in the medical term.
Yeah.
I mean it as in anybody with a brain wouldn't have done what he did.
Yeah, I've used that same terminology, and if anyone takes offence, it wasn't meant in that. It wasn't meant in that spirit. And to be honest, you can pick up on anything anybody says and turn it into anything you want nowadays. But there was no offence meant with that terminology from either of us. Paul, I suppose at that stage, you're down to 10. We don't normally do very well when we're down to 10, even though other teams seem to be okay managing it against us. Would you held on for a point? If you were given a point at that stage, would you have took it?
Yeah. The way the game was going, yeah.
Yeah. However, there was to be late drama, as there so often is in these games. But finally, things caught up with us, and it wasn't us who got the late winner on this occasion. It was Hibs. Well taken shot from outside the box, but we had a chance to clear it. And as I say, it ended up, it kind of started with Kasper Schmeichel kicking the ball into touch with the clearance. We were never going to get back into it again, Paul. To be honest, we didn't really look like doing anything after we went down to 10. That was the key moment of the game. It was a day that promised so much. The only real time the atmosphere picked up at Celtic Park was whenever Livingston went 2-up against Rangers in the other 3 o'clock game. There was a red card in that match as well, and a few late goals. Today should have been a day when we gained another 2 points on Rangers, closed the gap on Hearts to 3. However, what's really played out is we've actually fallen a point behind Rangers, further behind, and now fallen.
It was another day for Rangers to celebrate a draw.
Where do you think this leaves us, Paul, with 10 games to go? Because it's not over. It feels like it's over. It feels like it's over. It's very difficult to see this team.
It's not over. We're only 2 points behind Rangers. We're 6 behind Hearts. We've got a game in hand, right? Okay, yeah, people could turn around and say, yeah, but the way we're playing, we're not going to win that game in hand. But let's keep the faith. Keep the faith. What do you call it? There's still plenty of points to play for. And as you've seen today, even the bottom club, Livingston, can take points off Rangers. So it's not over. Let's keep the faith now. Right? Let's all stick together and keep the faith. We can still win this.
Michael Ross doesn't want us to talk about the game, wants us to talk about the real problem on the board. It is a post-match. It is a post-match podcast, Michael. So it is sort of designed to look at the game that we've just watched. To be honest, I'm bored talking about the board as well. We all know what the main problem is. We all know far too well. You just hope from game to game that the team can give you some bit of cheer, because at the end of the day, why we support Celtic is we want to enjoy watching the football, and all too often we just end up having the same conversation over the same point over and over and over again ad nauseum. But I'm flat, Paul. I genuinely struggle to see where we go now. But again, try to step back from it. 10 games to go. It's not over. Anything could happen. And in this season, we've seen enough evidence from the 3 teams that are fighting this out that none of the three of them are likely to go on any kind of a winning run. And there will be points spilled between now and the end. However, I am concerned around next weekend. I think if we get beat next weekend, I think that probably puts the nail in our coffin.
Yeah.
In terms of this championship race.
Next week is the telling weekend. But it all comes down to not only everybody coming together, but it all comes down to who the manager picks. Will the manager stick with the tried and tested, or will the manager stick with players that actually have got a bit of heart and want to fight for this league? The Celtic fans are not daft. If we had a team here who were fighting for the league and fought all the way, then we'd be delighted with that, because at least then we would be showing some fight. At the moment, we're not even doing that. And that's the concerning thing for me.
Paul, there's a small matter of a second leg in Germany on Thursday night. After you and I did the post-match on Thursday, I listened to Martin O'Neill's post-game press conference, and he, all but without actually saying it, confirmed that he would be prioritising the game on Sunday over the game on Thursday. Do you expect to see, and it's a bit of a strange thing to say, do you expect to see an understrength Celtic team? Because I think any 11 that we put it on the pitch at the minute is an understrength Celtic 11.
Yeah.
But do you expect them to try and keep the players that he wants to start next Sunday with?
That's what I would want to happen. But I know that's not going to happen. I genuinely think that there'll be at least a good 3/4 of that team is part of the team that will start Sunday's game.
Yeah, I can't see him. I can't see him putting out a strong team on Thursday. I think he'll go pretty much second string.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, I think so. But whether that makes any difference for next weekend or not, I really struggle to see at this point. I might be more bullish when the time comes, but at this point, I certainly struggle to see us going there and getting a win. I really, really hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm sitting here next Sunday talking about a Celtic victory, but that feels like a real stretch. Based on what we've watched this afternoon and based on what we've watched over the last 2-3 months, over the whole season, to be honest, but as in particular over the last 6-8 weeks, it's very, very difficult to see that outcome.
But what I would want to see from no matter who plays on Thursday night, I want to see a bit of fight, because there's players that are in their squad that are thinking, how can I not get in this team when these players are playing like that? Surely I've got a chance to get into the team for Ibrox. So you'd think that the players that come in on Thursday will be also fighting for a place for the Ibrox side. I just want more fight in this team.
Just looking at the comments.
So am I looking at the comments. I'm not the flavour at the month at the moment, am I?
Most people are feeling. I think we're just all frustrated. Most people are just fed up. We're absolutely fed up. We're sick to the teeth.
We're all fed up. We're all fed up. Exactly why we're feeling. There's nothing wrong with that.
We're all turning on each other. Paul, that's half an hour done. I have absolutely no interest in doing a full show based on what we've watched today. I'm just flat. I want to get off. I want to put the weekend to bed, and I don't know. Think of it something different. Think of it something different other than Celtic. Thank you to everyone.
I'll come off here and start to enjoy my birthday a bit better then.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone that's joined us. Just really pissed off with what we've seen. Pissed off that we're talking about another defeat. Pissed off that it looks as if we're meekly going to surrender our title. Comments still people think Hearts are going to blow up. I don't see it. Like I said, I don't see them going on a long winning sequence, but I don't see them blowing up. I don't see them losing 2 or 3 games on the spin. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, thanks. Smell the glove. I'm not 65. Mate, look, I'm not 65.
Let's finish on a positive note. It isn't over. It feels like it. It feels like it, and it could be, but right now it isn't. And we've got 10 games to go. Let's assess it. Let's assess it game by game. Let's see where we land next Sunday, and we'll take it from there. once again, thank you very, very much to everyone in the chat, everyone who's joined us. I'll be back after the Stuttgart game, whatever that looks like, come Thursday evening. Paul, thank you very much, and see you.
You're welcome.
Cheers.